The first time I heard the voice under my bed, I thought it was my imagination finishing a sentence my fear had started. It was close to midnight, the house quiet in that way that feels loud. My parents were asleep down the hall, the ceiling fan ticking above me, the faint glow of my phone lighting the blankets. I was halfway through scrolling when a whisper rose from the darkness below my mattress. "Don't be scared." I froze. The voice wasn't loud. It wasn't growling or distorted. It sounded tired. Soft. Almost careful. My heart slammed so hard it hurt. Every horror story I'd ever read rushed forward at once. I didn't move, didn't breathe. The space under my bed felt suddenly enormous, like a mouth waiting to close. "Please," the voice said. "I won't hurt you." That was worse somehow. I wanted to scream for my parents, but my throat locked. My fingers dug into the sheets as if they could anchor me to the bed. The voice didn't come closer. It didn't say my name. It just waited. "I'm not supposed to be here," it continued, quieter now. But I didn't know where else to go. Fear should have won. Every instinct told me to run, to shout, to do anything except listen. But something in the voice stopped me. It sounded like someone holding back tears, like someone who had already learned not to expect kindness. "Who are you?" I whispered, surprised my voice even worked. There was a pause. I imagined the darkness shifting, imagined eyes staring back at me. "I don't really remember," the voice said. "I remember cold. And being small. And hiding." My skin prickled. "Why are you under my bed?" Another pause, longer this time. "Because you left the light on." I glanced at the lamp by my desk, its warm glow spilling across the floor. The shadows beneath my bed were deep but not complete. "I follow lights," the voice said, as if answering a question I hadn't asked. "They make it easier to breathe." I swallowed. "You're not human, are you?" A faint, sad laugh came from under the bed. "I used to be. I think." That should have been the end of the conversation. That should have been the moment terror took over. Instead, my fear began to shift, changing shape into something else, unease mixed with curiosity, and underneath it, a strange pull of sympathy. "Are you hurt?" I asked. The answer came so quietly I almost missed it. "All the time." I slid my legs closer to my chest, pulling the blanket around me like armor. "Did someone do this to you?" "Yes." The single word carried a weight that made my chest ache. Silence settled between us. The house creaked as it always did at night. Somewhere outside, a dog barked. The world felt normal, which made the situation feel unreal. "What do you want?" I finally asked. "I want to stop shaking," the voice said. "I want to sleep without remembering how it felt to be afraid." The honesty of it broke something in me. I'd spent most of my life afraid of things I couldn't name, of failing, of disappointing people, of being invisible. This voice sounded like fear given form, like someone who had lived inside it for too long. "You can't stay under my bed forever," I said gently. "I know," the voice replied. "I just need a little time." I hesitated, then reached down and turned the lamp brighter. Light flooded the room, pushing back the darkness beneath the bed. I expected something terrible to reveal itself. Teeth. Claws. Eyes that didn't belong. Instead, I saw nothing. Just shadows and dust and a pair of small, trembling hands that looked almost human, except they seemed made of smoke and moonlight. They pulled back quickly, like they hadn't meant to be seen. "I'm sorry," the voice whispered. "I didn't mean to scare you." "You didn't," I lied. The truth was, I was terrified. But alongside the fear was a growing certainty that whatever this was, it wasn't evil. It was broken. "What happened to you?" I asked. The answer came slowly, as if pulled from deep water. I was a child once. I hid under my bed when the shouting started. I told myself monsters lived in the dark so I wouldn't have to believe they lived above me. My throat tightened. They never looked for me, the voice continued. I learned how to be quiet. I learned how to disappear. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to fix something so old and so heavy. But I knew how it felt to want someone to stay. You're safe here, I said, the word surprising both of us. No one will hurt you. I know, the voice replied. That's why I came. Night after night, the voice returned. It never touched me. Never moved closer. It stayed under the bed, speaking softly while I lay awake listening. It told me fragments of memories, of laughter that stopped, of footsteps in the hall, of promises that were never kept. Sometimes it cried. Sometimes it just breathed, shaky and uneven. I brought it water once, sliding a glass across the floor. The water trembled, then vanished as if absorbed by the darkness. Thank you, it whispered. My sleep suffered. My grades slipped. My parents asked if something was wrong. I told them I was just tired. What I didn't tell them was that every night, after the house fell silent, I felt less alone than I ever had. One night, the voice said, "You're kind." "I'm just listening," I replied. "That's rarer than you think." I started leaving small things near the bed, a blanket, a pillow, my old stuffed bear. In the morning, they would be exactly where I left them, but somehow warmer. Weeks passed. The voice sounded stronger, less brittle. Then one night, it said, "I think I can leave soon." My chest tightened. "Where will you go?" "I don't know," it admitted. "But I don't think I need to hide anymore." I sat up, the room dim except for the lamp. "Will you be okay?" "I will," the voice said. "Because you showed me something." I sat up, the room dim except for the lamp. "Will you be okay?" "I will," the voice said. "Because you showed me something." "What?" "That not every place with a bed has to be a place of fear." I swallowed hard. "Will I ever hear you again?" There was a pause, then a warmth in the air, like a hand resting briefly over my heart. "Whenever you choose kindness over fear," the voice said. "I'll be there." The space under the bed felt empty after that. The nights were quiet again. Normal. I slept better than I had in weeks, though sometimes I woke with tears on my face and no memory of why. Years later, as an adult, I volunteered at a shelter for children escaping situations they never should have known. I sat on the floor with them, listened to their stories, stayed when it would have been easier to leave. Sometimes, late at night, when the building was quiet and the lights were low, I felt a familiar calm settle around me. And I knew the voice under my bed was never really gone. It had just learned how to stand in the light.